Hey, this is Dr. Rob Zembroski, an advisory board member of the Cancer Schmancer movement, best-selling author, and proud cancer victor. I want to share with you some information and tools on how you can support your immune system through a cancer diagnosis. But first, here's a little bit about me and my backstory. Some years back, at a crazy time in my life, a really crazy time in my life, I had an extreme level of stress and I was neglecting my health. And then about 18 months to 2 years after the stressors faded away, I began to lose weight for no apparent reason. I developed crushing headaches when I bent over. I had an incredible amount of fatigue that no shot of espresso, double shot of espresso, no caffeine or B vitamins would overcome. I then developed gushing night sweats, and I woke one morning with my left pupil the size of a frisbee. And at that point, I knew there was something seriously wrong with my health, and there was. So I ended up seeing a friend who was a radiologist who suggested taking a couple of x-rays of my chest, and we did. And he said, "You have a 5-inch tumor in your chest." My cancer was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And to treat the disease, my disease, I had a combined 7 months of toxic chemotherapy, 4 weeks of radiation, and then I pushed a surgeon to crack open my chest to remove the mass, a procedure they've never done on a disease like mine. Ultimately, this crisis care medicine and the surgery helped save my life. But medicine couldn't offer me any information, any tools to rebuild my health and prevent recurrence. So I dove into the research. I wanted to understand why I developed disease, but I wanted to create a plan, a protocol that would allow me to rebuild my health back to excellence. And so with this plan, I am still in excellent health, and I have been a cancer victor now for 12 years. While I was deep into the research, creating this plan to rebuild my health and prevent future health issues, the research was very clear that most cancers develop due to nutrient deficiencies, low vitamin D levels, damage to DNA in our body from environmental toxins, free radical damage to our cells, chronic high blood sugar and insulin, synthetic hormone replacement therapy, viral infections, chronic surges of stress hormones, and a compromised immune response. The research is also very clear that there are 5 actions you can take to rebuild your health during a cancer diagnosis and after. And these include eating nutrient-dense foods and eliminating processed foods, including gluten, dairy, and white refined sugars. Move and exercise. Exercise turns on genes that prevent disease, supports the immune system, and regulates your metabolism. Get adequate and uninterrupted sleep. Reduce contamination and environmental toxins, and minimize your stressors and change the way you think about those stressors. Stress really is a perception, and if you can minimize the outside stressors and change the way you think about them or change your perception of the stressors, you minimize the release of stress hormones in your blood. Now, why is this crucial if you're dealing with a cancer diagnosis? The stress hormone cortisol, epinephrine, and norepinephrine have been proven to spark and drive the cancer process. These stress hormones can make chemo less effective, increase the spread of cancer or metastasis, increase blood vessel development to a tumor called angiogenesis, and the stress hormone cortisol can and will suppress your immune response, making it more difficult to fight off and defeat your cancer. And as you know, the immune system is very complex and a crucial component in defeating disease and cancer and keeping you disease-free in the future. Now, the takeaway is this. There are 2 major white blood cells in the body that destroy cancer. Those are natural killer cells and cytotoxic T cells. Natural killer cells rapidly recognize cancer cells, engulf them, and directly kill them. Cytotoxic T cells kill cells infected by viruses and cancer cells by punching holes into that cancer cells, injecting it with enzymes, ultimately destroying the cancer cell. Now, in order to support your immune system in fighting cancer, you must prevent injuring those white blood cells, the immune system, and you must make them work more efficiently. You basically injure your immune system from your stressors and the release of stress hormones. You injure your immune system through the foods you eat, the lack of exercise, the lack of sleep, the exposure to toxins. And again, your stressors, prolonged fear and anger, anxiety and worry will cause the release of a hormone called cortisol. Research shows elevated cortisol in the blood suppresses natural killer cells and cytotoxic T cells. Remember, if you can change your perception of the stressor, you minimize the stress reaction and you preserve the immune reaction. You preserve those white blood cells. You must also eliminate all white refined sugars, white refined baked goods, which is really just white sugar and sucrose that can reduce immune function. Eliminate all energy drinks and sodas loaded with sucrose or white sugar. Eliminate processed foods that contain refined sugars. Get rid of refined flours, baked goods, muffins, donuts, cakes, pies, and so forth. Also eliminate foods containing gluten and dairy products, as these foods create immune dysfunction in the body, making it more difficult for you to fight disease. The second action to take is to eat foods that support and enhance your immune response. Consider eating these foods. Mushrooms like white button mushrooms, cremini, portobello, porcini, and shiitake mushrooms. These mushrooms contain compounds called beta-glucans, which increase the function of your immune response and those natural killer cells and T cells. Eat citrus fruits like oranges, clementines, limes, lemon, and grapefruit. And if you are on medications, it's best to stay away from grapefruit, as grapefruit contains compounds in it that make drugs ineffective or toxic. Eat broccoli, garlic, fatty fish like salmon, herring, and sardines, as they are high in vitamin D, ginger, spinach, turmeric, and green tea. And now the third action to take to support your immune system through a cancer diagnosis is to support and activate those natural killer cells and those cytotoxic T cells by taking specific nutrients. Let's talk vitamin C. Ascorbic acid is an essential nutrient needed to support cytotoxic T cells. Vitamin C is an essential nutrient, meaning that you don't make it in the body, and therefore you must get it through food and supplementation. Data shows vitamin C causes a 200 to 400% enhancement of natural killer cell activity. That's 200 to 400% improved natural killer cell activity. It's amazing. Vitamin D, researchers found that vitamin D is crucial to turn on your immune defenses and your cytotoxic T cells. A lack of vitamin D will cause these T cells to fail to react to and fight disease. Research also found that T cells actually search for vitamin D in order to activate themselves so they can do their job fighting off disease. Vitamin D is also very important to modify the pathways that create cancer. And now, in my mind, probably the most important nutrient or nutrients to take are mushroom extracts. Mushroom extracts, including chaga, maitake, reishi, shiitake, turkey tail, oyster, cordyceps, are hands down some of the most powerful nutrients to support and supercharge your immune system and its response. Mushroom extracts found in research-based supplement products contain simple carbohydrates called beta-glucans. Beta-glucans have been shown to enhance natural killer cell activity and T cells, making them more efficient at killing cells infected by viruses and cancer cells. Mushroom extracts containing beta-glucans also increase the number of natural killer cells in the blood, basically creating more soldiers to fight the battle of cancer. Oh, and you may have heard that supplements and antioxidants interfere with the function of chemotherapy. This is flat out false. Research shows that specific supplements are needed while you go through your cancer care. Major oncology journals and studies show that specific nutrients make chemo more effective and less toxic. They will also help your body fight the disease. So if your oncologist tells you to stay away from supplements and antioxidants during chemotherapy, your cancer care, this is irresponsible. Challenge them to show you the research that backs up their recommendations. And that said, if you are receiving chemotherapy, consider taking specific supplements. If you're looking to support your immune system during a cancer diagnosis, consider the following nutrients. Consider vitamin C. Take 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C per day, or that's my recommendation. That could be 1,000 milligrams spaced throughout the day with food. Again, 1,000 milligrams 3 times a day. Vitamin D, I suggest taking 10,000 international units of D a day. Perhaps take 5,000 in the morning and 5,000 at night. And it's also best to have your vitamin D levels checked while going through your cancer care. To fight disease in the body, strive to get your vitamin D levels up in your blood to 60 to 70, even to 80 nanograms per milliliter. That's through your blood. And for the mushroom extracts I mentioned, I recommend research-based products that contain mushroom extracts like shiitake, maitake, turkey tail, ganoderma, chaga, oyster, and cordyceps. Make sure the mushroom supplement product that you get contains beta-glucans. Again, beta-glucans activate natural killer cells and cytotoxic T cells to fight against your cancer. The cancer industry continues to develop immune therapies to combat and defeat cancer. While there have been many successes with immunotherapies, you have the ability and the power to keep your immune system strong while dealing with a cancer diagnosis. Remember, even with the cancer diagnosis and the cancer therapies you receive, you can still support your immune system to get you to your victory. For more information, go to cancerschmancer.org. I hope this information was helpful, and remember, a diagnosis is not your destiny.